How to improve a child's vocabulary. In fact, it's really, really simple. The best way human beings learn languages is by interacting with other human beings. All right, now I'll tell you what they did with me. When I was growing up and all the kids in my generation, they gave us these vocab books. And every week or every other week, we would have about 30 words which we'd have to memorize. How to spell it, what part of speech it was, how to use it in a sentence, all the stuff. And after having our quizzes, eventually they took certain words and made them into tests and midterms and finals and all that silly business. And at the end, not too many kids continue to use the words which were in those tests. You see here, the best way human beings learn language is by interaction. So you'd be better off going into a kitchen in another country and learning how to cook something to learn the language of that nation. You might know if you have a lot of friends who speak other languages, just hanging out with them after a while you start picking up on certain phrases and using them as if they were your own. That's the way we learn. That's how we learned our first languages. So the idea is that if teachers want their children to be very literate in multiple, words, the best thing to do is find words that are important to learn and use them in your everyday speech. This way they don't die. So basically, if you have a vocab book, start incorporating those words into your everyday conversations. Use them to describe things. Now, there's some words from those vocab books which I still use today, and it's because I had an interest in them. Either the definition meant something to me, I've seen a word similar to it in my past, or, it was just a weird word that I thought was pretty cool. I had to make a personal connection. What happens is nowadays when you are teaching kids that the way you learn vocabulary is by doing all these tests and quizzes and all this grueling work, they are naturally averted to learning more words. They're naturally, just angered even by having to see more vocabulary words that they have to learn. They don't want to use them because every time they see that word, they think back to that test maybe they didn't do so well on. So what I'm saying is that the best way to enrich children's vocabulary is just to use the words that are important in everyday speech, because that's the way they are intended to be used, not to be something to grade children on. And that's all I have to say.